Hello, Mr. Chandak. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Just wanted to check that as well.
नहीं वो ठीक है I'll just put की आवाज आ रही है
Is it okay? Am I
Yes,
audible?
absolutely okay, absolutely.
Okay.
Uh, I think somebody else needs to come in, but he has not come for the recording. Mr. Anand has to come for the recording.
Yeah, still 3 more minutes, so we'll wait
हाँ
before
हाँ
we. Yeah.
हाँ हाँ तब तक हम लोग ऐसे ही कर लेते हैं बात.
हाँ.
अच्छा आप कहाँ पे हैं अजय भाई आप बॉम्बे में हैं कहाँ पे हैं
नहीं, पुणे.
पुणे
Yeah.
you are Maharashtrian or are you
No,
हाँ
I'm from Rajasthan, Marwadi,
हाँ हाँ
and born and brought up in a place called Amravati, which is in Maharashtra, Vidarbha.
okay
Yeah.
okay that's a
And then I did my engineering from Bits-Pilani. फिर उसके बाद MBA किया था बॉम्बे से जमनालाल बजाज. Then I worked, yeah, globally I worked. I was in US for some time, UK, Singapore. Then moved from Mumbai, then moved to Bangalore, Hyderabad, and settled in Pune. So 20 years Pune, तो मैं पुणे कर हुआ भी.
हाँ हाँ पुणे वाला
Yeah.
तो पुणे एक जंगल हो गया कॉन्क्रीट जंगल.
हाँ, yeah. 20 years ago when I came to Pune, it was really nice because it was like geographically it is quite spread out city,
हाँ
but
हाँ
density it wasn't as much. Now तो इतना migration हो गया है ना.
हाँ हाँ
IT parks and many. It has become complete cosmopolitan city.
it,
Uh,
uh,
lot of construction. True.
बहुत I was in Pune a long time back I went uh, but
So
but the thing is that that was almost I think in 77 78 when it was still virgin
okay,
and one could cycle. I was I think I just passed out from school or
okay.
university. One could cycle from the airport to anywhere. Hmm.
Hmm.
अब
Mhm.
तो सुना है कि वो स्कूटी ले जाना भी बहुत मुश्किल होता है.
Abhi to, and post COVID, what happened is everyone preferred to be having their own personal vehicle. So
हम्म
number of vehicles on road has gone very high. One is
हम्म
people coming out from other states.
हम्म
Second is everyone is owning a vehicle, whether
हम्म
two-wheeler or a
हम्म
four-wheeler, whatever.
हम्म
So the infrastructure, and Pune is not a very planned city. So
हम्म
development in Pune did not happen very methodical, systematic, or
हम्म
planned.
हम्म.
The planning ka issue.
Good evening, viewers. This is Ali from Pena family, and today we have another illustrious guest by the name of Mr. Ajay Chandak, who is a principal consultant in Tech Mahindra, Pune. Mr. Ajay Chandak has had a very illustrious education and a career. He graduated from the Birla Institute of Technology and Science, Pilani, in 1992, 1996, and then he went to the prestigious business school of Jamna Lal Bajaj Institute of Management, Mumbai. Again, he did his postgraduate in business management and business administration and completed in 1998. Then I think he joined as a project manager, strategy and quality, another famous company called Central Rayon for a period of 4 years. Then he went to Quimpro Consultants as senior consultant, which again is a quality based company. And then as a principal consultant to Quality LLC. And I think he ventured further into G, which is again one of the leading, you know, multinational organizations, G Capital 2000 2003, 3 years. And now in 2003 to this year, 2024, he is a principal consultant with Tech Mahindra. Where we welcome you, Ajay Bhai, Ajay Chandak ji.
Thank you so much.
We
Yeah.
really welcome you, and we would like you to sort of share something about your life and about your education and something about.
Thank you. Yeah.
We welcome you. So please begin, sir.
Yeah, sure. So, thank you so much for introducing me. And so, essentially, I come from a place called Amravati in Maharashtra, Vidarbha, which is near Nagpur. So, I'm born and brought up there. As a child, I have been a very introverted person. I believe I'm no more. That's the reason we are interacting and talking so freely here. But yeah, so I have been a very lonely child. So there were a lot of introspection at a very early age. I was enjoying my own company, thinking through, contemplating. So it so happened that जैसा बच्चों को कभी कोई डांट देता है, किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया पेरेंट ने या कलीग्स या फ्रेंड्स के साथ कुछ अनबन हो जाती है. So I never used to retaliate or react, but then I started sketching my thoughts on paper. So that was the beginning of my sort of a journey, the art journey. I started drawing, painting, and participated in many exhibitions, competitions. So typically, yeah, there were a lot of motivation because I used to get certificates, awards, prizes. People used to appreciate कि बच्चे ने बहुत अच्छा किया है. That journey continued till date. So even in my college days, junior college, senior college, my graduation, wherever I worked. So that is one part of me. That's my passion, the art. In terms of my academics, yes, we are two of us, myself and my sister, only sibling. And after 12th, I have been, from very beginning has been meritorious in terms of my academics. And Bits also, I made 10 out of 10. So I was lucky enough to get admission there in Bits-Pilani. Unfortunately, financially, we were not doing so well. My father we come from very humble background. So to an extent, despite me getting admission in Oklahoma State University, with good grades, good GPA, I did not get my visa because I did not have anything to show that I will come back. So there was no financial bank or property. So that led me to do my MBA at JBIMS Mumbai. And post that, it has been a journey in itself because career changed from my basic engineering after having done MBA management. I got more exposed into quality management consulting. So I worked with, as you know, Kempro, as you mentioned. Kempro is Juran Institute affiliate. There are two quality gurus, as most of us know. After the World War II, Japan was completely devastated after the atomic bombing.
Yes, yes.
So two quality gurus from US, Dr. Deming and Juran. So they are the one who went to Japan and started the movement of total quality management, quality circles. So lot of work has happened in Japan, and that's what we see that whatever progress they have in terms of production, Toyota, just in time, many new concepts were implemented in Japan. So Juran is one of the quality gurus, so Kempro was affiliated to Juran, so only representative in India representing Juran Institute. So I was again lucky enough to work with them directly. So got myself trained as a trainer, as a facilitator, got a lot of other certification, Malcolm Baldrige Award, International Quality Rating System. So art is one which is within me. Quality is what I acquired because of my work. So I did a lot of work in quality management, right from a process industry to manufacturing to service industry. To an extent, we also trained Jet Airways along with Singapore Airlines staff. So we did work for Taj groups. We did work for Jet Airways. So that made me to move from quality with quality management into that was a time when SAP just began, came in the enterprise system. So SAP, BAN, So that was a time when there were a lot of training work which was happening. So I went to Bangalore as center head of this consulting firm, and then my SAP training, and then eventually I joined GE. So with General Electric, again, I got a major exposure in terms of quality, because GE is very, very well known for Six Sigma. And Jack Welch has done tremendous work, and I am very proud of that one organization, because there's a lot of learning which happens. Not only about the processes, the value system which GE has is brilliant. So that's where I did my Six Sigma certification, green belt, black belt, and then master black belt. So that as I've been telling, one part of me, again repeating, is art. Second is quality never left me. So I was somehow associated with quality, even though I worked with IT. And with current organization also, I have led Lean Six Sigma initiatives. So a lot of initiatives which is to do with process reengineering, quality management, and now working with the APAC region. So looking after Asia Pacific, Singapore, Australia mainly. So that's my brief journey. In terms of my personal interest, as I told, art is one. Second is I love traveling. So yeah, being close to nature. One thing I have always seen that for any artist, very, very essential skill is observation.
Yeah.
So when you are with nature, you keep observing so many things. The nature itself is such a beautiful artist. Every other time, whenever I have time, I pick up my car, go on the mountain, sit there, and just watch the skyline, which keeps changing. So the canvases which gets painted on the nature is marvelous. So there are a lot of things. So that excites me as well. And a little bit of, yeah.
You're the first engineer who has acknowledged that he has the artist in him, inside his body, inside his mind, body. And I've worked with many engineers, and I've had to bring the artist out from them, out into the open. So, I mean, you are truly blessed.
I believe, yes, I acknowledge.
You're truly blessed. And what was your pure science, subject in
chemical engineering? My graduation was in chemical engineering.
It's not easy. Chemical is not easy. So one of the pure subjects, and then, but you combined it with your artistry, and I think you had the, I would say, guts or grit to acknowledge that you loved art also. Whereas many engineers, they don't like to disclose these things. They have the artist in them. They like to sing. They like to hum. They like to paint. But they say that art is, a weaker man's subject, something like that. But anyhow.
I strongly believe. See, everyone have some creativity in him or herself. And one thing, see, typically we have been, as Indians, we've been focused mostly for our children, upbringing, our education system to build our IQ. So there's a lot of focus on IQ, not so much of focus on EQ or SQ nowadays. So art gets you high on your emotional quotient, because art is to do with heart. So whether it's painting, so whether it's painting, dance, dramatics, film, music, you look at it. So it's more of emotions, expressions of your own self on any medium. So I would see, completing a personality. Everyone should have some passion or build that up and get into some sort of art, whether it's music, singing, instruments, anything.
No, surprising that there were some engineers who were very fond of playing the keyboard, very fond of singing, and reading out poems, but they pursued their passion, and then they didn't feel that they were engineers, or they had this job to do. I think they were the major entertainers in our plant in Kutch. So it was it was a real joy to see them perform, and being in such a landlocked or uh, down to what do you call, away from home, home away from home, we thoroughly enjoyed our uh, time with them, and also they what do you call, their talent. So that's why I said that you are the first engineer who I've met who really is proud of his painting, and I really appreciate that. And how did you pursue this passion despite your quality, despite your work? What do you call?
Okay, one very good question. I acknowledge that. I think good you asked me that. Many time it happens that when you're working with corporate, typically when you're working with corporate, you don't want to expose your other part, other side of your life, because then you've been seen that you're focusing on something else than your work.
Yes.
But in my case, what happened is wherever I worked, I was very vocal about saying that I'm an artist. I do so. I participated in annual functions. So for that matter, my entire organization knows I'm an artist. So which has really helped me to do, like, I do a lot of shows. I do my solo shows. I do exhibitions. I curate shows. So which takes a lot of my time pursuing my passion. But it became easier for me because my management knows, my employer knows about it, and they appreciate it. In fact, they really appreciate it. So yeah, as you said, how did I pursue it? I pursued and I was vocal about it, saying that I'm part of that's part of me, and people accepted it.
That is a great quality which you have openly expressed, because most of us are afraid of the question क्या सोचेगा. अरे क्या सोचेगा, सोचे दो. हाँ, हमको अपना
Correct.
काम करने दो. हाँ, तो
Correct.
यही बात आपकी बहुत अच्छी लगी. और आपने एक चीज के, I want to ask you something about your paintings. You use
Sure.
vibrant colors, very vibrant. And
Yeah.
is this something to do with the actual scenes which you've depicted in your mind, or because life has many colors?
Absolutely.
Uh, Life has many
Yeah.
colors.
So
So,
again, a very good, very yeah. Again, a very good question. At one point of time, my palette was mostly grays, very mellow down tones, a lot of ochres, grays, beige color, and even black for that matter. And and the painting which you see behind is very bright, extremely bright. Very few artists would want to use that palette. But I have seen, as you know, that I come from an engineering background and do pursuing my art. So I do not have very restriction or preconceived learning which I've taken from art school, saying that this has to be done this way. So I explore myself. I've been very as an experimental in terms of what I want to do. So whether it's brush strokes or palette knife which I use, or color palette which I use, I just choose depending on what is my mood that particular day.
Yes.
So yeah, and I believe most of the artists also does this. If you really look at era, so like for Picasso, they call us a blue era, the red era. Because I mean, artists goes through their own emotions and what inspires them in what subject and surroundings inspire them. So it keeps changing. I don't think that any artist would stick with any one particular subject or palette.
No, it's what you've done in your abstract painting, it really creates a nice feeling, and it makes you feel vibrant also. It makes you feel, because they are maybe it's about the moods that you may have at that moment, and about the mindset you have, and maybe it's you're trying to bring down the actual force of nature, but you use less of blues.
Yeah, so if I don't know whether you have seen some of my work, which is mostly abstract, and it is inspired by nature. As I told, whenever I travel, if I like something, I capture. So I photograph I take pictures. And then I study. As in, some of the pictures are very inspiring. The hues, the skylines, the seascapes,
Oh, yeah, the skyline.
the landscapes. Yeah, whether you see them, and see, as an abstract artist, the challenge for an abstract artist is um, cannot use there's no drawing. So I don't. There's no drawing because there's no lines there. There's nothing defined per se. So only thing as an artist, you use color. You express yourself through colors, through textures, through various mediums. How you use, whether it's a knife or roller or brush or whatever techniques so you use to apply your paint. So and it's very, very, very nice because you have to capture the essence. That's what I do. I capture the essence of that particular scenery or picture which I have captured and present it in an abstracted format. So at the same time, it also has to convey the mood, that particular mood. So yeah. So if you have seen my abstract paintings catalog, most of the painting which you see will be, okay.
I see.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you something. You have been a globetrotter, and probably you've traveled inside the country also. Which is the best sunrise or sunset which you've seen in India or globally? I'm just
Okay.
very personal question. Please don't mind, huh?
No, that's a question which see. I'm on the mountain. I like mountain. I like heights that way, and more. Seascape is also beautiful when the sunset happens on the seaside. The shimmering of water, the reflection which comes in, the way you want to capture. As an artist, as a photographer also. Photographer is also a very creative field. When they really look at it, they look at so many aspects in terms of your lights, your reflections, and that's what I want to capture. So wherever I have been on the seaside, evenings is what I have liked when the sunsets are happening. Maybe because I did not got up in the morning to go and see the sunrise.
Yes.
But mountains, I have been there for sunrises and beautiful sunrise. What you see when the sun is rising and the hue which keeps changing, and even the sunset. After the sunset, typically half an hour after the sunset is the canvas which gets painted on the sky is just awe-inspiring.
Oh yes.
And if you're asking which place, every week I pick up my car, I go on the mountain, which is very near to where I stay. So I've captured some of the very good sunsets and sunrises there, and more specifically during COVID. So during COVID, So I
found nobody there.
I saw nobody there, and I'll after this thing, I will share the image of the sun of the skyline which was there on that particular day. No one would believe it's beautiful. So to answer, I think nature is there everywhere. So it's not that sunrise in the US is more beautiful than sunrise in Pune.
Yeah.
The only thing is because of the environment, the pollution, the filters which gets created because of pollution and smoke and all that. You may have a different way, but yeah. So it's not one. If I had to answer, not one specific location which I would say is the best or most beautiful. Even Mumbai skylines have captured nice. Puri seascape was good.
Yeah.
Himalayas are beautiful. Switzerland was lovely.
So
yeah.
And what about the south? Did you go to Chennai or Madras or Kanyakumari?
Yes.
The sunrise and the sunset there.
Yes.
It's unique. It's amazing.
It's unique. Kanyakumari sunrise is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. Sunrise, sunset.
There they are.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got to be blessed to, kind of get that into your system. Because most of us go there, either we are late or we just, too early.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. So, I mean, have you been to the mountains? Which mountains have you been to?
I've been to like Himalayas. 2 years ago, I've been to Char Dham Yatra. So Himalayas has really inspires me a lot because of the huge magnanimity of the place itself.
Yes, yes.
The rivers which you see, the flowing of rivers, the merging of rivers, the mountains which keeps rising every
Yes,
the
yes.
time.
Uh,
So that's one I like. Switzerland definitely is beautiful. The Alps there.
Did you go to
Um,
Ladakh and Kashmir?
no, Ladakh. I was not. Maybe because of the health reasons or not. Yeah, not been there. Yeah.
Do if you do have time, visit these places also.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
they are
that's the point.
highly commercialized, but I believe now the pollution level is less. And
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it was always there. There was a rarefied air, but pollution level is less. And I think
It's
the best time is July, August, September is the best time.
okay.
What they
Okay.
call, what the Kashmiris and the Ladakhis call the English season.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Then they,
And that's one thing, as you rightly said, when the pollution is less, you get to see a lot of beautiful colors there.
Mhm, mhm.
Whether it's sand, soil, or lakes. Yeah,
The other
even
place,
the view of Himalayas from, yeah, sorry,
did you go to Darjeeling? No.
no, been to Nainital.
Uh,
Nainital also have very beautiful view of mountains, actually.
yes, Nainital does.
Yeah.
Yes. And what about the, I mean, Western Ghats, you've been all over.
Western Ghats, yeah, traveled to large extent, yes.
And have you driven the Konkan to the Konkan roadway, on the Konkan roadway to the waterfalls up to Goa?
No,
You know that waterfall,
yeah, the
Dudh
Sagar waterfall,
Yes,
yeah, that's beautiful, yeah.
that is something
That's beautiful.
amazing.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't know now, but earlier on, the sunrise and the sunset in Goa were just awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
You see, we didn't have mobile cameras at that time to capture the image immediately. We had to use that lens, voila,
Uh-huh.
or lens, and have the film developed at,
Yeah.
uh, at a Fuji center or at a Kodak center or whatever that is, Konica. So those were different times, but I think we
Even
got very
even
good. Yes.
desert sunsets are also very lovely.
Hmm.
Uh, like we spoke about the seaside, the mountains, even deserts are beautiful
Oh, desert
sunsets.
Rajasthan,
Rajasthan,
your Jaisalmer,
Jaisalmer, yeah,
Barmer,
many. Hmm.
and of course the city of lakes, Pichola
Udaipur, yeah.
and Fateh Sagar. They
Hmm.
have some. I mean, besides being touristic, they have a lot of attraction.
Yeah.
Then
Architecture, the
yes,
palaces, the
yes,
forts.
yes, the fort. The forts, huh? But the living fort I liked really very much was the Jaisalmer fort.
Jaisalmer fort, yeah. Yeah. So that's
And
the only fort which is inhabited by the civilians, the common man.
yeah, the common people, and it's a living fort in the sense that there's life in that fort. People live there, and people. You've been in Rajasthan, you know that children experience till a child is 6 years old, he experiences his first rain. So
Mm-hmm.
they say कि ये 6 साल का होगा,
Mm-hmm.
तब बारिश होगी.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something unique about Rajasthan also.
Yeah.
They have, and I mean,
See that way, India, if you really look at it, it's really has so much to explore in India itself. The culture, whether you talk of North, South Indian temples. Look at the temples, the
oh,
beautiful as in yeah, every temple you can spend hours together to appreciate the architecture there.
the South temple, Madurai,
Yeah.
Tambaram, and the beaches are beautiful. The South Indian beaches. Some of the beaches in Western India also are quite unique. I was in Kutch for some
Yeah.
time, so
Yeah.
I really like that. The sun Sun does not set till 7 o'clock. In
Yeah.
fact.
Yeah. Even the East has an eastern part. I have not explored northeastern, but yeah, eastern side of our country is again very beautiful.
Eastern,
Look at Hassan. Yeah.
Eastern has its own kashish.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you're lucky if you come back from there. It's a joke. It's a joke. But it has its attractions. It has.
Yeah. Yeah.
And besides the beauty, there's a lot of, other beauty also, which draws you, attracts you, and brings you to the ground reality. You see Nagaland, you see Manipur, you see Assam, you see Mizoram, and Arunachal. They have. Then even the Bengal.
Correct.
Yeah. And you'll
So
be, yeah. correct.
nature is one. India has, and I am very proud of the country because look at cuisine. Rajasthani khana alagi hai. Gujarat mein you sever so much.
Mhm.
South Indian is different. East Bengali has you spoke Bengali, Sandesh or so. Food is one. Second is the culture.
Mhm.
As soon as at least for me, I don't know because basically I'm Rajasthani Marwadi.
Mhm.
So whenever I go to Rajasthan, I really feel that I have come home. That,
Mhm.
though nobody is there, we migrated generations back to, but that
Mhm.
feeling of Rangilo Rajasthan, the feeling of
Oh,
very, very much there. Whether you go to Gujarat, again, very Junagadh, that area. So where boutique work is there, bandhej ka kaam hota hai.
mhm.
Puri or Orissa, look at Patachitra. So many different varieties are there. Down south, Tanjore work.
You'll be
The
surprised.
artisans.
You'll be surprised, Ajay Bhai, that I was in Tuticorin.
Mhm.
Heard of Tuticorin? And I was looking for food. You know,
Mhm.
other food.
Mhm.
Ye chapati mil jaye, ye mil jaye.
Mhm. Mhm.
I stopped at one shop and I found this chap uh, to be more akin to our, facial structure. So I stood there.
Mhm.
He was speaking fluent Tamil.
Okay.
You couldn't tell him that, I couldn't tell, nobody could tell that he was a non-Tamil or, thing. After I concluded the deal, I said, मुबारक हो, हम्म,
हाँ.
तुमने अच्छा किया, अब ये बताओ, चपाती कहाँ मिलेगी? So, these were things, huh? He says, यहाँ पे, he was from Rajasthan, he was a Marwari.
Okay.
So he said, यहाँ पे ये मिल जाएगा, but his major, जहाँ पे कहावत कही कि जहाँ नहीं चलती गाड़ी, वहाँ मिलता मारवाड़ी.
Correct.
Yeah. You'll
Oh,
find them in Nepal, you'll find them
yeah.
in Arunachal, you'll find them everywhere.
Yeah.
And they have a certain culture, but they know how to adjust to other things. They adjust and they sort of merge with the society as one. I mean, it's a blessing, I would say. It's a natural blessing because
Very.
they know the business, they know how to conduct
Yeah.
themselves, and
Yeah.
that's why they are so prosperous. And this
Yeah.
man was doing salt business.
Mm-hmm.
Very few of us know that salt, the
Mm-hmm.
prime salt, is available in Tuticorin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
हाँ, हम लोग तो टाटा सॉल्ट पीते हैं, टाटा का नमक खाते
Correct.
हैं, हाँ, या पतंजलि का नमक खाते हैं, या कुछ और
Mm.
नमक खाते हैं, but this salt is only exported. It's prime salt.
Yeah.
अगर मिल जाए, कभी मंगा लें, तो
हाँ.
जिंदगी बन जाएगी हम लोग की. तो वही मैं कहता
Yeah.
हूँ, आई एम नॉट, I also work with Marwadis, and I found them
Mm-hmm.
extremely practical, extremely down to earth,
Yeah.
and matter of fact. But at the same time, very human.
Mm.
ये है, profitability is there, and performance is important. But अगर
Yeah.
कुछ गड़बड़ हो जाता है, you're very understanding, extremely understanding. So these
See,
things,
that way, I would say Indians are very accommodating. because from our upbringing, the way we have been brought up, look at everything. Traffic में कितना भी traffic होने दो, we manage. Look at Mumbai. Mumbai just hasn't very few cities in the world. Itna New York would be the another one maybe. Like Indians are very accommodating, whether because of joint family, the upbringing, the culture, there's restrictions. So wherever you go, like you mentioned about Marwadi, even Tamilians, I find them everywhere. Because maybe more in APAC, has in Singapore, Malaysia, so many Tamilians are there. And India's become, as I was telling, accommodating. We adjust. Environment रहने दो, गर्मी रहने दो, खाना, food रहने दो. Somehow we are more accommodating than. Also maybe multi-faith, because we have two religion, the culture, everything. So and we are coexisting. So that made us not only Marwadi, as an Indian, we are in general.
Yes.
More accommodating.
That's a rare quality.
Yeah.
You see, this was in not only that area. When I was in Burma, I went to Burma. I found Tamilians, I found Marwadis, and I found Sardars.
Punjab, yeah.
And it was a beautiful, what do you call, mixture of all cultures. I was amazed. The Burmese were Burmese, but they were being ruled by the Nepalese or by the Manipuris were not interested in business. So it was Sardars, it was Tamilians, and it was Marwadis who were conducting things. It was extremely primitive at that time, but now I believe the whole scenario and the whole landscape has changed, because it took us 15 hours to go from Imphal to Moreh. But now I think it's just a matter of 4 or 5 hours. So this is called enterprise, and this is called love for life, love for love for many things, love for the human beings. If you don't love the human beings, how would you sort of get on in life?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you love human beings, then you get better in business. That's also one thing. And besides being business-like, but you have to love for life and love for human beings.
All living entities for that matter, because
And respect. That's what I felt was really nice, and was quite the thing. So now I want to ask you, what are you doing right now? I mean, in Tech Mahindra, because Tech Mahindra is a very big.
As I was telling you, I am looking after APAC region, which is mostly Singapore and Australia accounts. Though there are many other accounts, and like Australia itself, we have a couple of accounts. We work with Vodafone, the News Corp, Optus. Many of them are there. Then Philippines, some. So APAC region. So my work mostly, as I have been telling, I'm not a core IT guy. So I'm not a technical person. So mostly into so not one specific account or a project, but across the account, more into managing the customer relationship, more into structuring the deals, more into ensuring the program are seamlessly working. So, so from that perspective, it's ensuring so no delivery per se. So I have done a lot of deliveries before, and I don't want to do it anymore. Too much of pressure when you are doing customer deliveries or managing operations. But here, working across accounts, one is giving me that leverage to work with various customers and come get the expertise in terms of process excellence. And as part of now coming back to my professional sort of work, I am a business presentation coach as well. So, and that's maybe I will take half a minute to tell that
please.
A very, I won't say rare, but it is very uncommon skill even for senior leadership. And why I'm saying so, many people don't know the business language or extraction. Many people deal with data because day in and day out, so much of data is generated. But how do you take information out of data? That's one skill. How do you really understand the patterns and take the right information, which is useful for you to make business decisions? That's one skill. Second is, how do you really present that to influence somebody, whether you're talking of the sales deal, and if I were to win that deal, what are those key things which I need to present? If I were to talk about the subject to convince a group of people, how do I present? So every presentation, every communication has some objective and outcome. So that skill in terms of presenting in a business language is, again, I am saying, rare.
That is
And
true.
that's where no, I've seen to an extent people don't even look at hasn't they not many does understand P&L, profit and loss. They don't even understand how much we are making, what we are making and not. Yes, customers ask, we keep working. As Indians, we keep working. We make our people work more harder.
Yes,
Instead
yes.
of 9 hours, we will ask them, nahi, ye bhi karna hai. Yeah, so you get them work 12 hours, 15, but not getting them paid by the customer. So that's the business value in terms of, that's one thing. Whenever I look at accounts, P&L is the first thing which I see. And if I see anything there, I create a business case I have presented it to customer, got the approvals for additional revenue.
Oh, lovely.
So that's one skill which definitely I am very comfortable and would want everyone to want that to be shared. So business presentation, so it's not only presentation in terms of making or creating. The entire thing is what needs to be presented for a business to win something, whatever object, to meet the objective.
Now,
That's
I want to tell you something, dear bhai, that just as you make presentations, I train people in Chinese language. And I also have to make presentations, which I can learn from you. And I've done this with various corporates like Reliance, Lanco, and Adani's. And I'm still training people. And I just wanted to ask you how we can work this out in some kind of a way, because Chinese is an important language of the future. And if there is something I can do to help you out, I mean, or help myself also in this, it would be really nice if we can.
Sure.
Huh?
Definitely, we can sync up and understand what you're doing and how we can complement our work together, collaborate.
You won't believe it. I was doing training Chinese.
Okay, that's a good.
Not in their language, but in our language, so that they become more open. They understand the equipment. I'm not an engineer by profession. I'm a linguist. I have a degree in Chinese language, and I've done an MA in international studies. But then I feel that भाई काम तो करना है, so why not pursue your passion?
Yeah.
So that's why when you said presentation, which is very important.
Yeah.
How you begin your presentation, how you create the impact, and sustain it.
And couple of things when it comes to presenting per se. Right now, building the presentation is what, and then once you're talking of presenting, has we heard so many times, pictures speak much more than the words.
Yes.
So those experiences I had when I was working with Thailand. So I was in Bangkok for some time. So I was working with, in fact, government organized was my customer, TTNT Thailand. Like DOT, what we have in here, TTNT Thailand is owning the entire telecom network there. So we were working with them to improve that system process implementation, various things. So that's where there was difficulty in terms of Thai speaking audience and how to convey. So talking about visual presentation has really helped me there to convey. Not be convey, win over them. As in, because they were like easy to convey rather than talking too much about your technicalities. First is it's a subject in itself. When you're talking of use cases, when you're looking at customer journeys, when you're looking at customer experiences, that's where you get connect very easily with them. Rather than talking your technicalities or your functions or features, you speak about use cases, you speak about customer journeys, you look through their experiences. So yes, it's very and I'm good that you brought that up, and yes, definitely I would be happy to collaborate and understand more of what you're doing
No,
as a
you see,
linguist.
as a Chinese trainer, Chinese language trainer, I mean, I'm doing it for the Chinese also so that they, you know, communicate better with the Indian people.
Yeah.
Because at times, because of lack of communication, gets you irritable, hmm? and
Mhm.
you fail to understand certain things. Because, but we Indians are very clever and very sedate as far as we don't react like the Chinese do at some time. I mean, all
Mhm.
of us are Asians. They have their system, we have a system. So I'm trying to
Mhm.
bring the two systems together. But I'm also trying to make the Indians understand through the language how to deal with them, how to overcome their fears, how to overcome, talk to them, how to give them their presentations. Many of our engineers are couch potatoes,
Mhm.
sorry to say, and
Yeah.
I have to bring them up. I say, you stand up and go to the board and explain what I've taught. It's a little harsh, but there's a lot of rebellion inside the person. But I said I'm bringing the best outside, from inside outside. So these are things which I am doing, and I think I would like on behalf of Zena and like Mahindra to you know do this with you also, so that
Yeah.
as a part of Zena
Okay.
world, it would
Yeah.
be a added feather to my cap.
Mhm.
And I mean, it would be a privilege to sort of associate with an organization like Tech Mahindra, because I believe
Mhm.
your boss is quite open, Anand Mahindra. He's
Yeah.
quite a brand fire. He speaks his
Yes.
mind out everywhere.
Mm.
Extremely active. And I tell you, we have little time, but I thank you once again for your time, for your explanations. They were so vivid. And before I go, or before we end, I would like to say something about you, which I observed. And may I share that, please?
Yeah, sure.
Uh, I want to tell you that you are never too young to start an empire and never too old to start a new dream. You are never too old, too young to start an empire, never too young to start an empire, and never too old to start a new dream. So I think we should build up on our dreams.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful lines to pick up. Yeah. Very
So
inspiring. Yeah.
thank you, thank you. I thank you for your time. I thank you for
Thanks.
coming here, and I
I,
hope.
I just want to add on a couple of things which Rajiv
Please,
Bhai
please,
has
yes,
briefed.
please, please,
Just to conclude,
please.
um, areas we just spoke a little bit where we could collaborate or expertise. So one was I was telling a business presentation.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
anyone who would require any help in terms of business presentation, training, workshops, hands-on,
mhm.
one-on-one,
Okay,
I would be happy to extend myself
okay,
and share that. That's one.
yeah.
Second, in terms of anyone from the from looking at the cost savings, process improvements, process reengineering,
Uh-huh,
process excellence, customer experiences. So anything
uh-huh.
to do with process, lean, Six Sigma, quality
Mm,
management. So that's another area where right from training,
yes,
training anyone.
yes,
Whether it's, and working to ensure that we create a business strategy and
yes,
save. So that
yes.
could be other area where I would love or like to contribute.
Mhm.
And third, definitely my art. So
Yes,
uh,
yes, yes, yes.
whether we are talking of anyone would have any interest as an art lover or art buyer or art collector. So
Yeah.
I would be happy to interact and see how we can work together on that front also.
Yes, before we end, I just want to ask you, why didn't you go into figures, making of figures, making of images, and you have, I mean, it's,
Do I do that as well. So if you're talking of portraits,
yeah,
yes, I
portrait.
have done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Evaluation of my journey in art is I started with figurative drawings. So whether it's nature drawing or landscapes or portraits, I did a lot of portraits for that matter. Even live portraits, as in as in you could sit across the table and I could do your portrait as well. So yeah, that was one time when I did that. Slowly, somehow, as I told, my mood changed. My affinity towards nature was more, and I picked up this. I enjoyed working on canvas with a lot of paints, textures, and nowadays I do a lot of contemporary
Yes,
sort of abstract work. Yeah.
yes, yes. This scan it. I don't unnecessarily scan it started. It comes in. Microsoft keeps sending these figures. So, but I really appreciate what you've done, and I hope you can continue with this work wherever you are. I mean,